Some of you guys commented on my black knives, so I'll tell you what I told my parents, which is that I like my knives like I like my women. Black, not all that sharp, but extremely dangerous.
Damn!
Gumbo isn't something I ever had growing up because it turns out the Amish can't make soul food because they don't have souls. And I can say that because they'll never see this video. But gumbo is an amazing dish to have in your arsenal, particularly when it gets cold out. It's extremely versatile, and once you nail some of the basic components, you can take it in a lot of directions. You can do a seafood gumbo, a chicken sausage gumbo, you can even turn it into a gumbo fountain. Here's everything you need, plus a couple things I forgot to include in the shot. You might be thinking that's a lot of vegetables, and you're right, but don't be like that psychopath Al Michaels.
Is it true that you have never knowingly eaten a vegetable in your life?
That is true. I always push the vegetables away. To this day, no.
Every cuisine in the entire world is built around a core of vegetables that serve as the flavoring base for many of their dishes. So saying you don't like vegetables is like saying you don't like sound or weather. Anyway, here's a montage.
Damn! 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 Damn!
The first thing we need to do is have everything prepped and ready to go. First, put a pot on medium-low and add 4 cups of chicken broth. You can use bone broth concentrate or that stuff in a box. I hate it when food YouTubers act like there's a huge difference between them because there really isn't. Speaking of cheap, I just used a pre-cooked chicken from the grocery store because it's like 1920s Germany out here, and I think rotisserie chickens are the only thing that's inflation-proof. If you want to grill your own chicken beforehand, that's cool too. This is also a great recipe for a leftover Thanksgiving turkey when you have it. The reason you want to have your prep work done before you start cooking is because once you start, you can't stop, like hentai. So take a cup of oil, we're talking about cooking now, not hentai, and add it to a large pot set between medium and medium-high. Once the oil is ripping hot, still talking about the cooking, measure out a cup of flour and dump it in. It's going to start bubbling and foaming, just like me when I'm watching hentai. But just relax and take a wooden spoon or silicone whisk and start stirring it. What we're doing is making a roux by toasting the flour, but we need it to cook evenly. If it doesn't, some parts will burn and then everything will taste like shit. So keep stirring. A roux isn't something you can just walk away from like a marriage or a family. I'm sorry, Ruth, I never loved you or your mother.
Oh jeez, okay.
Now keep stirring. The first few minutes it'll be unstable like your dad, but after a while it'll calm down and turn brown like your mom's new boyfriend. Just keep stirring as thoroughly as you can. You want it to be like a rich chocolate color, like I'm running out of these jokes. But here's what mine looked like after 20 minutes. You can actually take it further into dark chocolate territory, but I'm trying to show a simple version that you can pull off on a weeknight. Okay, dump in all your veggies. The water content in the vegetables is going to wake everything up again, so start stirring so they're evenly coated in this mixture. You can also throw some salt in as well to speed up the process, but they should cook in just a few minutes since this roux is as hot as me. Ah shit, I forgot about the garlic. No, I didn't.
Damn!
You don't want to add garlic with the other vegetables because the roux is so hot that it would get obliterated and then everything would taste like shit. Okay, now take a second and do this one thing. Put your face over the pot and have a good smell. That's just oil, flour, and some vegetables, but you've transformed them into something far greater than the sum of its parts. All the hard work is done, and this is the magic to a good gumbo. Now, if you have a beer, pour half of it in. I only had some microbrew garbage my wife picked up that's flavored with fucking avocado and ligma berries, so I just used dry white wine. Anyway, whatever you have, pour it in and let the alcohol cook off for a few minutes. Then pour in your chicken stock and give it all a stir to work out the lumps. Okay, sausage time. Gumbo typically calls for andouille, but any smoked sausage will work here. These ones are really veiny and making me feel self-conscious, so let's take out our revenge on God by circumcising these into bite-sized pieces and adding them in, and also the chicken as well. Now, what we have is a beautiful canvas onto which we can paint a masterpiece of seasoning to our liking. I went with a Cajun spice blend, some dried thyme, 3 bay leaves, and a crap ton of fresh cracked black pepper. I'm also holding off on salt because, same as the last video, we used a ton of ingredients that already have it, so wait until the end. But one thing you shouldn't do is wait until the end to subscribe. Hit that button, cutie, and let's make some magic together. So, with your favorite seasoning added, turn the heat down to medium-low so that bubbles are periodically forming on the surface. Put a lid on that brown bitch and walk away for about an hour.
Damn!
When you're ready, make some rice, Scoop yourself a bowl and top with some green onions and your favorite hot sauce to your heart's content. I really can't stress enough how mandatory the green onions and hot sauce are. Gumbo is extremely decadent and rich, so the acidy bite of green onion and the vinegariness of hot sauce cuts through it perfectly. Pop the rest in the fridge and you have a meal that will keep getting better for days. Once you have this recipe down, the world is your oyster. You can play around with the meats, play around with the veggies, and always have this warm, comforting meal in your back pocket during the colder times ahead.